fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater, out to short. And it's good, off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Grant Fournier, two-run shot to right.
We welcome you to Washington Township High School. It's a hot one on this Monday night as we've got Tri-County Baseball League quarterfinals between the Washington Township Senators and the Gartons of Vineland. Managers Chris Williams and John DiPietro are meeting with the home plate umpire and the base umpire right behind home plate here in Washington Township, as this will be a matchup between the lowest seed that advanced out of the play-in round, the 10 seed Gartons, and the number 1 seed Washington Township Senators, who had the best regular season since the Gartons in 2023. Both teams won 17 games and only lost once. So the question is today, will Vineland be able to prove that the 10 seed was not tame enough for them or was not ambitious enough for them? After all, they did shut out Blackwood in a 2-game set, beating them 5-0 and 4-0 last week to sweep into the quarterfinal round. But they'll be playing the Senators tonight in Washington Township, with the Senators having to make a road trip to Vineland High School tomorrow night to see who will advance to the semifinals in the Tri-County Baseball League. Now, for those who remember, this is a rematch from 2022. These two teams duked it out, and Vineland ended up coming on top, and Vineland followed it up with a spectacular regular season in 2023. So both teams are trying to exceed expectations and find a way to get themselves right to the top of the caliber card again, and it starts right here in Washington Township. We'll flip it back over to the main board, and we'll introduce starting lineups in just a moment. However, our starter for Washington Township today will start with Nicholas Evangelista, but again, Logan Ruga starting for Vineland, Evangelista starting for the Senators. And the thing about this Washington Senators team is that there are a lot of guys from a handful of places. You have a couple of Rowan University products like Phil Sedalis and Jared DeGiorgowski. And you've got a couple of Rutgers Camden products like DJ Giuliano, Julian Gonzalez, Sean Glenn, and a whole bunch of other guys as well. And Chris Smith as well, who's batting in the 9 slot today. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Gartons of Vineland, presented by Harper Driving School, as we get started here on this hot Monday evening. Gavin McCaffrey leads us off in right. Anthony Charles, the power hitter, he's at first base, batting second. Joey Peacock is the left fielder. Darren Fisher is the center fielder, batting fourth. Kyle Leiser in the 5 slot out of Timber Creek. Josh Herner at third. Jack Peacock at second base. Rob Lagarina at short, and Logan Ruga is the pitcher. As Monday night, red on red, quarterfinal baseball, the 10 seed Gartons versus the number 1 seed Washington Township Senators, ready to go. The first pitch foul, and it's 0-1, we're underway. McCaffrey batting for the first time in a long time this year out of the leadoff spot. Fires a fastball into the outside corner, 0-2. Big thing for Washington Township is going to be getting that strike command going early, especially versus a team like Vineland that feels like they've been vindicated a little bit with their play-in round victory over Blackwood. I mean, Blackwood was seated higher than them, but yet Blackwood didn't have much of a standing chance in that series. Again, getting shut out both nights. Could be a talking point going forward. 0-2, grounded out towards short. Sedalis is going to be there, ranges to his left on his former home diamond here at Washington Township High School, and he picks up the first out. So Evangelista, the utility man for Washington Township, he's appeared in 4 games as a batter, but this is his 7th appearance of the year as a pitcher. 37 2/3 innings, a 0.37 ERA, and a very nice 1.63 on base against with a .66 whip, 22 hits, 2 earned runs in those 37 2/3 innings, and 32 strikeouts. First pitch to Anthony Charles is low. 1-0 the count. Again, Vineland's first three. McCaffrey, who grounded out to short. Anthony Charles and Joey Peacock out of St. Augustine. This one's also in the infield. That one will be a sliding stop at second base. Throw across the diamond is in time. Beautiful play over at second base by the Rutgers Camden product, Chris Smith. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the first inning. So we've got Joey Peacock, the batter now, as a red-hot start to the middle infield combination for the Senators. A ground out to short and then a ground out to second following that. Again brings up Peacock, the first of 2 Peacock brothers in the order for the Vineland Gartons, and that's going to be a base hit in the left field off the lip of the infield grass. Rounding first and stopping there. Peacock, first pitch base hit. Vineland certainly seeming to swing a little early in the count here, but first 2 outs were ground outs in the infield, and now Peacock keeps it on the ground, but this time gets some results going with a base hit to left. This will be Darren Fisher, the center fielder. First pitch in the dirt, 1-0. Fisher's been a longtime product of Tri-County baseball down here in Vineland. Bats out of the cleanup spot once again tonight. That ball smoked out to left field. However, it'll stay in the ballpark, and it is taken in by Dan Riesel, and the inning is over. 4 batters come up for Vineland, 2 ground outs, a line out to left, and a base hit. Senators will get their first swings in a red-on-red, red-hot playoff matchup. We'll be right back. Bottom of the first inning here in Washington Township. Let's take a look at this nice play at second base for the second out of the inning. Nice little play down there. We'll lead it off with the Rowan University product shortstop Phil Sedalis. First pitch is low, 1-0. One ball, no strikes from the right-hander Logan Ruga. That ball is in on the hands with a fly ball to center field. Taken in by Fisher, 1 away. Let's take a gander at the Washington Township starting lineup presented by Harper Driving School and led by Coach John DiPietro. Phil Sedalis, you just saw, flew out to center. He bats lead off at short. Dan Riesel is in left, batting second. Shane Adamski in right field. Rich Raccaballo at first base. Kyle Crozier at third. Dylan Warburton is the designated hitter. Robert Carfagno out of Highland Regional High School is the center fielder. Julian Gonzalez out of Rutgers Camden behind the dish. And another Rutgers Camden product, Chris Smith, batting ninth at short. Up and away. Looks like it'll be 2-0 to Riesel. Vineland had a base hit out to left in the top of the first, but nothing more in a pretty pedestrian opening frame. A couple of fastballs here from Ruga. They're not missing badly, but they're just missing the zone, and for a guy who's got a very full swing like Dan Riesel, doesn't really allow a lot of margin for error on that. He does command one in the zone that time. It's 3-1. All fastballs, though, to start this at bat after a early fly out to center field by Sedalis. Here's the 3-1. Fouled back deep into the Washington Township forestry, and it's 3-2.
And Dan, on this 3-2, let's talk about Ruga for a second. Coming in, 21 innings pitched. He's 2-2 on the year with a 2.67 ERA into the playoff, their first playoff game.
3-2 hit out to left field. That could drop, and it will drop for a base hit. Worked the count full and got a double out of it, or not a double. He's going to hold up at first, but he did get a win-win. He worked up Ruga's pitch count, and he got a base hit out of it. So that'll be a knock to left by Riesel. And now the batter will be out of the 3 spot, Shane Adamski. I really like that piece of hitting there, especially from a guy in the 2 slot after a fly out to center field. The objective is to hit the ball into the outfield, put the ball in play, and good things will happen. When you're batting in an early game situation like that with nobody on and 1 out in the bottom of the first, you're kind of thinking is, okay, I want to get the party started. First guy before me, he did a little bit, but not enough to get on base. I want to be that guy that does enough to get on base, pass the baton to the next guy, and make sure that we get a rally going here in the early going.
And that's what it's got to be. You got to bear down in a 2-strike count, especially let alone a full count, and that's what he did. Just flared it out to the left, and obviously speed in that second hole almost got him to a double, but in a count like that, that's all you can ask for, and he got on.
Especially after working the count fully at a 3-0 count, and now got a strike called and then got a foul ball back. And then the next pitch got it going. So the batter is Adamski out of the 3 hole for Washington Township. And just like the last at bat, the count is 3-0. And this isn't too different from when we saw Ruga the first time in the regular season at Runnymede versus the Grizzlies. And again, he gets a red light that time to Adamski. Out of Westchester University, Division II in the famous PSAC, Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, hosting a lot of very high-level Division II programs. That will be ball 4. I mean, we were talking about earlier Phil Sedalis being a Rowan product and a handful of Rutgers-Camden products as well. Both teams made the Division III College World Series, or at least the Division III men's baseball bracket, which is 64 teams, but Rowan and Rutgers-Camden both made it. First pitch to Racabaldo, the left-hander, is a strike called. It's 0-1. So he's dealing with 2 runners on early. And as you said, a 2.67 ERA for Ruga, who we have seen in the regular season before as a pitcher and as a batter. He slots in the 9 spot here this afternoon. There's a ground ball up the first base line and foul. Biggest thing for Washington Township is taking advantage. I mean, Vineland, the interesting thing about Vineland, they are the lowest play-in seed to advance. 5 teams got a bye. 6 other teams had to play to get in, and Vineland ended up beating the 7 seed Blackwood, the Blackwood Bears, to get in. So they've got a bit of a chip on their shoulder right now. They know that the reason why they were seated lower was because they played less games. They only played 12 games in the regular season. They went 6-6. Meanwhile, Blackwood, the team that they played, went 4-14. However, they played 7 more games overall, therefore got more points, got the higher seed, and Vineland, I think, wanted to make a point. This could be 2 here. They throw it to short. Throw down is way wide. That will sail. It is a dead ball. Scoring is going to be Riesel. It will be a 3-6 fielder's choice with a throwing error tagged on the shortstop. It will advance the runner. Racabaldo to second, and Washington Township leads this thing 1-0, breaking open the scoring tonight.
And Racabaldo, that's just a great piece of hitting, but I really, really like what Ruga was doing there, setting up inside, and then went with that outside fastball that he almost rolled over on a first base. Should have been an inning double play, but Washington Township will take it and run with their 1 run here in the first.
Yeah, I think if that throw doesn't go wide from the shortstop, I think that you have an inning-ending double play on your hands. I think you're right there, but it just went a little bit wide, and your hope is for Vineland, you now have 2 outs in the inning. You hope that you now limit the damage to 1 run. Now, Chris Williams is talking to the base umpire. I thought he was going out to the infield to talk to Logan Ruga, but he's motioning over towards first base. Now, Chris Williams is very heavily involved in collegiate umpiring, so it's not like he's, what's the right phrase? It's not like he's being unfounded when he makes a point. You know, it's there was a situation last year or earlier this year when we saw Vineland where a foul ball got stuck between the umpire's shoulder pad and their mask. And Chris Williams came out and said that should be both runners moving up one base, which is correct. That is the rule. But the umpire, who was a very young gentleman, I think he must have been 25, 26 years old, he didn't know that. So Chris Williams, he kind of let it go because the game was mostly out of hand at that point. It was a 7-8 nothing game. But Chris Williams has a very, very deep experience with umpiring, so he understands the situation. Now, I'm not sure what the argument is. The only thing that I could think he could be talking about was the fact that a dead ball was called down the first base line, because I didn't see the ball physically leave the playing field. But I think either way, the runner would have come in to score. So we've got a bit of a extended discussion here.
Yeah, I mean, the only argument made here is the runner going to second automatically, because I believe the runner was already on his way home, which would just be a regular judgment call.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, because the runner, I mean, this is what they go over during the ground rules before they start every game. And they spend a couple minutes every time talking about this field, because it is a little bit odd. You have several openings in the field, and John DiPietro is trying to say what's the holdup because the ball went into the dugout. Now, I did not have a good angle of where the ball landed, but if he's the one standing there, let's take a listen. They're sending the runner back to first. Well, it didn't take too long, but they're sending the runner back to first. And John DiPietro is already putting this game under protest in the first inning. So this is going to be interesting here, because DiPietro has already said that he wants to put this game under protest, and only took a half inning to do so. So if they're going to send the runner back, I mean, he is not happy, and he also has to be careful because these umpires honestly are a little bit forgiving. I don't think he said anything that would warrant being tossed, but you know, there's some that have a very short leash with that. So DiPietro will go back to the dugout, and not a happy camper for what it's worth. So we'll have 2 outs, and the runner will return to first. But as it appears, they're not sending anybody back to third, so it looks like the run will count, which I don't know, in my personal opinion, how much is valuable over 90 feet. I mean, we'll see what happens here. And maybe he'll be a little bit vindicated if the runner from first comes in to score. But a very odd situation there, as, again, an extended discussion with both managers and the umpires.
Dan, I don't think that one was on my bingo card for tonight.
Protest in the first inning?
No.
That's the earliest I have ever seen a manager put a game under protest. But that's my thing, is that it looked like the run counted. So strike 3 called. So after a long delay, Ruga strikes out, the final batter of the inning, and Washington Township gets a run, and a bit of an extended delay near the end of it ends up counting just the same. We're through one. It is Vineland 0, Senators 1. One inning down here in Washington Township. A couple of minutes of daylight got stricken from the board, but we do enter the top of the second with a 1-0 Senators lead. An RBI fielder's choice off the bat of Rich Raccabaldo scored Dan Riesel. And first pitch popped down the right field line. Going over for it and making the catch is the right fielder Adamski for the first out as the number 5 batter for Vineland, Kyle Leiser, formerly of Timber Creek and now a rising sophomore at Camden County College, is retired. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. Strike called outside corner to the number 6 batter for the Gartons, Josh Herner. Foul tip that time, got a piece of the umpire. He'll have to shake that one off. Williams with a word of encouragement to take your time, and pitcher and catcher meeting briefly. Ren Raccabaldo asking if the home plate umpire is okay. I mean, no amount of protective padding or masking or helmets will protect you from, or will 100% protect you from getting hit in that situation. So he says he's okay, which is always good. So funny enough, we were just talking before the game with the home plate umpire, Tom, because he umpired our men's league game that we broadcasted Sunday morning. So the guy's a workhorse. And now that we do so much more baseball work in South Jersey with travel ball, we didn't get a chance to do any American Legion this year, but high school, college, we see a lot of the same umpires from time to time. And it's really a refreshing sight when they remember us. And, you know, it's like our 3rd or 4th game that we show up to, and they're ending up being the ones that are behind the plate or in the field. It's always nice when they remember us. That ball's hit well out towards left field. This one will go foul, it looks like. And it is well foul, and it stays in the ballpark as well, so it saves the bench player a headache. But Senators got a run in the bottom of the first. Again, it was a 3-6 fielder's choice with an E6 attached to the shortstop. And a strikeout to end the inning. Ground ball to third, got tripped up. Oh, he's unable to keep onto it. He throws it away. He ended up doing a acrobatic act. He just couldn't hang on to his footing at third base. And that'll be a tough play to put in the scorecard because it will be a runner on for Josh Herner.
I was just going to ask that, Dan.
I don't know. Sure. I mean, the argument is it would be an error because he didn't field it properly, but he fielded it just fine. He just lost his footing. So
correct.
It'll be interesting. And it's not like I think you would give a little bit more leeway if it was something like a rainy day or the infield was wet, something like that. But hasn't rained in a little while, and it'll be interesting to see how the official scorecard denotes it. But top of the second inning, Vineland looking for the first run of the night, and they have a base runner on to do it. There's a pop-up. They got a lot of foul ground to run, and it is caught at third base. A little redemption there by Township. So after stumbling on the last play, Kyle Crozier finds a way to get himself back into the spotlight. making the catch at third for the second out. And the batter will now be Jack Peacock, another St. Augustine product, donning the RCSJ Cumberland helmet.
Peacock's one of their better hitters this year. Just 25 at-bats. Hitting 400 on the dot, though. 1 double. 6 RBIs in his summer campaign.
Yeah, I mean, thing is this year is that this has definitely been a pitching year for the Tri-County League. I mean, the home run leader, A.J. Palumbo, finished the regular season with 4 home runs for the Grizzlies, and yet the number 2 seed, the South Jersey Grizzlies, they finished with a team batting average of 247. And their pitching was just fine. Their ERA was around 2.5 as well, as that ball's hit out to left field, and a dive. Defense all around. Dan Riesel makes the play. He's got a base hit to his number, and he's got a diving catch to end the inning. We're through 1.5 here in Sewell. 1-0 Senators. Dylan Warburton leads us off in the bottom of the second inning here from Washington Township. 1-0 Senators. Again, if you missed it, they scored a run on a fielder's choice with an error attached to shortstop. As that ball missed low and it popped out of the glove of Lizer. It's 1-0. Not a bad crowd on hand for a quarterfinal playoff game. Things are finally starting to heat up here in Tri-County Baseball, and it's starting to heat up literally 95 degrees at first pitch today. That one hit the batter as he swung, and it'll be 1-1.
And as you said, Dan, in a pitcher-friendly Tri-County League in 2025, Warburton has one of the, I wouldn't say one of the highest, but one of the higher batting averages on the squad this season.
Rolls it out to second base. Go to first, it's in time, and that's reflecting exactly to back what you said in the first inning, where Ruga's setting up on that fastball outside to the left-handers, and it's forcing them to roll it over. I think that a lot of right-handed pitchers make the mistake of trying to force that fastball in to jam them, because the risk is if you try to set up outside and you miss, you leave it out over the plate and they could mash it. But Ruga seeming to have that confidence and that control, gathering a lot more swings and misses than he did in the first inning. So ground ball out to second base by Warburton was the first out, and the batter is now Robert Carfagno. Now, Colin, you know him from Highland?
Correct.
He was class of 23, 24?
Correct. You were correct on 23.
Okay, 23.
Now at IUP, Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
That's one of the funny things about Pennsylvania. Where do you, oh, yeah, you ask somebody in conversation, where do you go to college? Indiana. Okay, that's out in the Midwest. Nope, it's not. There's a California University of Pennsylvania as well.
They do have him listed as Indiana University on Tri-County. Not.
I think that's a technical thing, because if you go to the Hoosiers, it's the University of Indiana.
Ah.
So I think that's where the technical thing is. Just like people say they went to the Ohio State University,
right.
As much as I want to punch them in the face for it. But, well, listen, I almost went to Ohio University, home of the Bobcats. But then I stayed home, and we're doing this now. That ball's fouled down the right field line towards the batting cages. Somehow not the hottest DWB game we've worked, as the count is 2-2. Back on July 22nd of 2024, we did the Camden County American Legion Championship, which was between Mullica Hill and Washington Township. First pitch of that game was 99 degrees. But the problem with that was that, or it wasn't a problem, it was actually a benefit, that it was a relatively dry heat. So the humidity was low, and it didn't even feel like 99. It almost felt a little bit like a 85 to 90 degree day. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been. That ball smoked out to left field by Carfagno. It is a fair ball, left field line. Just stayed within the chalk, and Robert Carfagno will drag a double out to left field. It's the first extra base hit for either side today, and he sets it up now for the Rutgers Camden backup catcher, or he could be a primary catcher after Evan Carbone graduates. It's Julian Gonzalez.
And Carfagno, that's just a great piece of hitting on a 3-2 count. He was late on the first fastball, and he came and got out in front in the 3-2 count. And, you know, he only has, again, talk about a pitcher-friendly Tri-County League, he only has one of the 2 home runs for Washington Township this season.
And this is a relatively pitcher-friendly park, but combine that with the fact that pitching has really seemed to dominate the league this year. Time is called. Williams giving some commands to his infield there. Like we said, Williams is a very experienced coach. They've won 3 championships in the past 15 years, 2012, 2016, and 2022. And again, they had the best regular season in recent memory with Tri-County at a 17-1 record in 2023, but lost as the 1 seed in the quarterfinals. Ooh. Don't see that too often. He pulled back on the bunt and got ready to swing as the first baseman was halfway up the line. A lot of times that's a little bit discouraged because, I mean, if you pull back and you swing, could put the first baseman in a little bit of jeopardy. But counts 0-2. Ruga delivers. Breaking ball, got on top of it, and it is foul. That blue circle that you see around the Washington Township batter's circle is turf. It is the one part of the field that is turf. None of the grass or anything like that is, everything else is natural, but that one little almost decorative piece actually has created for some interesting scenarios with ricochets and caroms, especially on wild pitches and short ground balls. 0-2 is a swing and a miss. Gonzalez goes down on strikes. It's the second for Ruga tonight, and there's 2 away. This brings up the number 9 batter, being Chris Smith, the shortstop, again out of Rutgers Camden, who also won the NJAC title for the first time in program history this past May.
I think that's just Ruga, you know, trusting himself with that fastball. He saw that, you know, he had this guy off his feet, you know, with the fastball. He didn't have to go to anything else, just had to blow by him.
That, and also, I mean, Ruga had back-to-back at-bats with 3-0 counts in the first inning. He had Riesel in a 3-0 count, worked the count full versus him, and then had a double down the left field line. Same thing happened with Adamski, except it was a 4-pitch walk. So, I mean, he struggled to find the zone in the first inning. Now he's found himself in a much better groove, as that one is low. Smith and then Sedalis, 2 more NJAC products, will be due up. Meanwhile, Vineland will bat 9-1-2. Ruga, McCaffrey, and Charles for the Gartons in the top of the 3rd. Ball's popped up, first base side. Over towards the corner, Charles will look up, almost ran into Bill Kohut, and it is foul. Yeah, a lot of foul ground here at Washington Township, a lot more than a usual, I mean, not too much more than what a usual high school field has, but a little bit more than a usual Tri-County field. There's a lot of room down the run at 3rd. We saw a very nice play by A.J. Palumbo a couple of weeks ago with the Grizzlies. He leaped over that 3rd base fence to make the play in foul grounds, which was a phenomenal play. And a strike 2 called. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second, and an RBI for the Senators would make it 2-0 here in Game 1 of this 3-game quarterfinal series. They didn't ask for an appeal. They will ask, and no good there. So count will be full. Looked like he held up, for what it's worth.
It did.
Obviously, you know, when you're on the receiving end of that situation, you want it to be the benefit of the doubt. You want to say that he went around, but at least from our angle, it looked like he held up pretty fairly there. Oh, look out. That one almost got him in his abdomen. He does skirt out of the way, and Ruga starting to flare up with some control issues. Again, it's his second walk. Sedalis will be the batter here. 2 on, 2 out in a 1-0 game here in the second inning. Looked like he had good control of that at-bat, and then he struggled. He got that foul ball and then missed outside and almost missed on that check swing, or almost got it on the check swing and then misses well inside on a 3-2 payoff. That pitch is high, 1-0. Just feels like a little bit of a roller coaster here. He didn't have the best ending to that at-bat, and now he's starting off with a 1-0 count here versus the leadoff man, Sedalis, who flew out to shallow center in his first at-bat of the night. Inside, 2-0 to Sedalis.
Sedalis, another guy in this, mediocre average lineup right now, hitting 400.
I was curious where you were going to go with that. I was like, these guys are 15, 1, and 2. I'm like, where in mediocre did you get it? I get what you're saying, though. I mean, everybody's kind of had a down year because of how good the pitching has been.
Correct.
You know, Chris Rollins is as good as ever, and he's 38 years old. We saw some great years out of John Kenny out of Burlington Township, and, again, some more Danny Robeson out of South Jersey Grizzlies. Like, there are just so many good arms on each team this year. It's really worked out well. There's a strike called. And I think the good thing is there were some teams that actually closed up shop after last year, and kind of the absorbing of that allowed everybody to get a little bit better. The Delran Browns folded after last year. The Cinnaminson the Cinnaminson Reds became the Cinnaminson Crew, but they're entirely different franchises. It wasn't like they just rebranded. One franchise closed and another reopened. So we're still at 11 teams, but it felt like everybody got a fresh start this year. Counts 3-2. Sedalis and then Dan Riesel. He could bat with the bases loaded if he doesn't hit here, and he does not. Back-to-back walks. He's got 3 of them tonight, and Dan Riesel will now bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs. We'll see what motions go throughout in the Vineland dugout, but Dan Riesel, who singled to left in his first at-bat, got the first hit of the game for the Senators. Could try to drive in some runs here.
Yeah, no, I don't think mediocre was the correct word. However,
I get what you were trying to say.
Right. However, with the top of this lineup, obviously just being such a standout, getting back to this part of the order.
Missed outside. Appeal says no. They're 0 for 2 in that regard.
Getting back to this top of the order with the bases loaded is key for this Washington Township team.
Absolutely. I hear some marching band practice in the distance. Football season is near.
It's a great time of year.
Well, we will be here at Washington Township on Thursday, September 4th for the Week 1 Thursday night football game between the Pennsauken Indians and the Washington Township Minutemen. We were here for a playoff game last year. And the pitch to Riesel. Strike called. So we'll have a 2-1 count to Riesel. Adamski would be next if the inning continues. He walked his last time. The first of 3 allowed by Ruga tonight outside. This is where, I mean, after you walk 2 straight batters, if you're Washington Township, your approach becomes very conservative. Your job is, okay, I don't need to swing unless I have to. Unless you got a 3-1 count. If he throws another strike, sure, I can hack at one. But let's see what he's got. That's ball 4. So we'll go station to station, ring around the rosy for Washington Township. It's a bases-loaded walk, and the Senators lead this thing 2-0. It may be the most nonchalant 2-out rally we've seen. 3 straight walks by Ruga, and everybody is able to score without breaking a sweat. It's 2-0 Senators as the Vineland pitching coach comes out to assist Ruga, who has walked 4 batters in his first inning and 2/3. So Carfagno came in to score that time. Smith is now at third, Sedalis at second, Riesel at first, and now Shane Adamski, who walked in his first time, will now have an interesting predicament, batting with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And obviously a lot of things can go right and a lot of things can go wrong in this situation. You know, we think about Adamski could pop out to the catcher on the first pitch, or he could hit a grand slam. I mean, this is one of those situations that's so polarizing because this can swing the game in so many different directions. especially in a quarterfinal playoff game where if this goes well for Washington Township, could completely change the dynamic of going into the pregame tomorrow night in Vineland. Ruga to Adamski. First pitch, 2 outs. Strike called, 0-1. That's a very good rebound by Ruga there.
Yeah, it's a good get me over for Ruga, especially, bases loaded, just walked in and run. Getting ahead early was key.
He'll get further ahead this time. It's an 0-2 count. No balls, 2 strikes. Ruga working from the windup with the bases loaded. He got jammed. He almost drilled Rich Raccabaldo in the on-deck circle. But no harm, no foul there. Almost like what happened to Pridge Fielder a couple of years ago where he got drilled in the on-deck circle. Something you don't often think about, but it can happen. It's low, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Smith on third. Sedalis on second, Riesel on first. All are the products of walks by Ruga, who's allowed 4 in an inning and 2/3. There's strike 3 called. It's his 3rd strikeout of the night, and it's his biggest one yet as he stops the bleeding, puts on a tourniquet to this Washington Township rally. They score 1 on a bases-loaded walk, but that's all she wrote in the second. We'll be right back. 2-0 Senators. Top of the 3rd here in Washington Township. This is our first of guaranteed 2, first of maybe 3 Tri-County quarterfinal games this week. We'll be in Belmar tomorrow night, a little bit closer to home for us, but it's the Cherry Hill BR Club and the Haddonfield Rough Riders battling it out in Game 2 of their series. So everybody plays tonight and tomorrow night, and then if necessary, a Game 3 will be played on Wednesday evening. Again, we will have to see what happens with Games 1 and 2. There's a one-hopper, nicely played by Sedalis. Oh, it's bobbled. Raccabaldo just couldn't get a firm grip on his glove at first base, and what was otherwise a nice play by Sedalis will turn into a fielding error on the first baseman for the Goldie Beacom product, the Goldie Beacom product's going to be in the on-deck circle. We'll go back to the top of the order for McCaffrey out of Kingsway. Good way for the pitcher to help his own cause, though. I mean, you can't be mad at it. It's an error either way. Sedalis, he could have gone in and tried to make some kind of flashy play by running in towards the ball. But with the pitcher batting, he understood the context of the situation, and he held back, let it bounce, and then made the throw. And it would have been a fine play, but it just got bobbled over at first base, and he will not get the credit for it. So it'll be an E3. Second error of the night. First on Washington Township. Another throwback to first is not in time. So we're back at the top of the order. McCaffrey grounded out sharply to short in his first at-bat. From the stretch, popped up.
Back towards us.
I don't know why I put my hand up. It was even if there was no fence, there would have been like 15 feet over my head.
Instinctive.
It's instinctive, especially when we do games where we are kind of like in the splash zone, and definitely one could come our way. is a strike called. Happened a couple times when we were doing the games at the Trenton Thunder Stadium, the high school games that we did there. The press box is set up perfectly to where if you just get a little bloop foul, if you hit it straight behind you, it'll just land right in front of us. Popped up. Speaking of, it'll be over our heads and towards the track of Tom Brown Field. Again, like we said, we'll be there for Thursday night football on September 4th.
Looking forward to that one, Dan.
That'll be a good one. One of our first high-profile games of the year, especially with guys like Mike Schatzman and Clinton Tabb leading the way for those guys. Cole Aquino going to into his senior year at Township. We'll be starting off our high school football coverage this year in, actually, is today the 28th? I believe it is. Yes, so 1 month from today, Thursday night football, the Cumberland Colts at the Clearview Pioneers. Some Gloucester County action on Thursday night, August 28th, as that one is floated out towards right field. It'll be caught. Bit of a backhanded play that time by the right fielder. And there's one away. So McCaffrey's retired. And the pinch runner, or the courtesy runner for Ruga, stays put at first base for Anthony Charles out of Goldie Beacom College, the Division II in Maryland, who's picked up a couple of South Jersey products over the years, including Joey Kurtz of Buna and a few others. Brent Williams of Woodstown went there as well, or is going there. And I believe also is on a Tri-County roster someplace, somewhere. But it's inside to Charles, who grounded out to second his first time. We've got one out, runner on first, Vineland, with the tying run at the plate in the top of the third inning here from Washington Township. Senators lead the Gartons 2-0. Again, all four playoff series being played tonight. CHBR and the Rough Riders being one of them. That's who we've picked up for tomorrow's action. Camden is playing the Camden Reds are playing the South Jersey Grizzlies at Camden, despite Camden being the away team. I believe they're playing all three games. Charles not a fan of the call. So all three games of that Camden Grizzlies series are going to be played at Camden, and then Cinnaminson Crew at Cherry Hill Pittman at Alcyon Park.
Where do they play the Camden games at? Where in Camden?
The Rutgers Camden Field.
Is it at Rutgers Camden? Okay.
The Grizzlies, their home field is Runnymede Babe Ruth, just off the Black Horse Pike, but
Right.
they don't have any lights.
Right.
So I think that the thinking is, if avoidable, go to a field that has lights. This is a situation where, as the one seed, obviously the Senators don't want to play away from their home field. For a series like Camden and the Grizzlies, it's a little bit more even. You could maybe get away with it a little more.
I don't think a ton of guys are going to pass up a chance on playing at Rutgers Camden.
Oh, yeah.
ever.
That's one of the nicest fields I've ever been to. Strike called. 2 strikes on Charles now. Again, he's 0 for 1, and his contest of the earlier strike call isn't going to gain him any favors with the home plate umpire. Runner on first, one away. Charles got jammed. He won't run it out of the box, and it'll be caught. Oh, he went right up to the umpire that time and expressed his displeasure. And he said, "That was on you," is what he said. Yeah, he turned right in his direction and walked right up to him with his back turned. So Charles quite unhappy. But there's 2 away, and still a chance for Vineland to get on the board here in the top of the third with the 3-batter Joey Peacock. Swing and a miss on the first pitch. And again, not only as a player, but for the entire team, that does not gain Vineland any favorability. If there's a borderline call, as much as we want to say that it's, black and white, we talk about ABS, the assisted ball strike system, as much as we wish that every umpire was perfect, those emotions, they do exist, and they don't forget as well. That's going to be a base hit. I'll go into left field for Peacock, and now Darren Fisher has a chance with Vineland's third hit of the game and the second by Peacock. Basically hit that through the same slot in the infield. Gets himself his second base hit of the day. So Ruga, his runner is on second, and then Joey Peacock is on first. The thing that we have to remember as well when we're talking about, players being upset and players arguing is that sometimes these players have college coaches watching. And I'm not talking about coaches in the transfer portal, or I'm not talking about coaches that are, that are going to be watching their competition in the spring. I'm talking about their own coaches. you know, a lot of these guys are current college athletes, and not only do they have to make a good impression from February to June, they have to make a good impression when those coaches aren't in the dugout with them as well. It's a pop-up back behind the plate. Oh, look out. That's going to be over our heads. Ooh, that's the closest we've seen one go our way. He must have not liked what I said.
I don't think this umbrella is going to do me justice, Dan.
The umbrella will not do you justice, but I'm standing, and I will protect my children at DWB. I am the Papa Bear that protects the house here.
Hopefully we won't have to have a situation like that
No,
again, though.
I mean, you're the baseball player, but you're a little bit defenseless being under that umbrella.
Yeah, right.
It's like one time we almost had a home run hit us in Seneca in May. Chase Kroberger hit one, almost grazed our producer David Cohen that night. It was a good game. Strike called. Next batter will be Kyle Leiser if the inning continues, as most catchers do. With 2 outs, he's got his knee pads on, just in case he is not needed. But Vineland would certainly like him to bat. 2 on, 2 out, misses up and away. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And in a 2-run game here in the top of the 3rd. Peacock with a single, Ruga reaches on an error. Popped up. This one is up in play. Should be playable down the third base line. Who's got it? Third baseman's got it. And the inning is over. So Vineland gets a hit from Joey Peacock and gets a second runner aboard via an error, but nothing more. It's been a tumultuous game tonight, and both teams have seemed to have a bone to pick with the boys in blue. We'll be right back. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, 2-0 Washington Township. Bottom of the 3rd, Raccabaldo swings and misses. 0-1 to start. 4, 5, and 6, Raccabaldo, Crozier, and Warburton. Township batted 7 in the 2nd inning and scored 1 run on a bases-loaded walk. So none of Township's 2 runs have come on base hits. First run came in on a fielder's choice combined with an error, and then a bases-loaded walk scored run number 2. Fouled back by Raccabaldo into the Acme parking lot, and that was headed scarily close to my car. Something about Washington Township and trying to hit my car. It's been a recurring theme this year, whether we cover them on the road or at home. Here's the pitch. Up and away. This is the first full season in a while that the Senators have been able to play at their home field. They were kind of a traveling team for a while in the last couple of years. They played at Williamstown High School last year for the majority of their games, and they shared a couple of community parks as well throughout the Washington Township, Williamstown area, kind of that 322 crossroads to get there. But swing and a miss by Raccabaldo. It's the 2nd straight strikeout for Ruga, who had a crisis averted when he struck out Adamski to end the threat with the bases loaded. Here's Crozier, who struck out his first time. Curveball inside corner. Strike called 0-1.
Excellent first pitch. Backdoor curveball from Ruga there.
It's a bit of the element of surprise. You don't expect in a low-stakes situation, bases empty, 1 out, you don't expect a backdoor curveball to start the at-bat. You expect more of the same. You expect a fastball. You expect something with a little bit of ride to it. But because he kind of pulled the string on him that time, Now he's got him on the ropes, and it's an 0-2 count. Gets a high chopper. Ruga leaps for it. Bobbled at second base. No play. Slow roller. And Crozier will get aboard. And that will be, I mean, debatable. I don't know if that second baseman bobbles the ball, if he would have been safer out, but Warburton will be the batter.
And that's a shame because Ruga really executed that perfectly as well. Went with that backdoor curveball that we talked about, then ran a fastball in on him, probably around the same slot. So it looked a little slower. He was way late, and then just chopped one to second and just wrong. Probably not great placement there for Ruga, but fortunate for Washington Township.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he had him on the ropes, backdoor curveball, and then got him swinging on an 0-1. Gets a strike called that time. To the left-hander, Warburton, who rolled over to second. And again, Ruga has been doing very well with this pitch location where versus the left-handed batters, which Township has a few of, he's been setting up that fastball outside. That one is away. Don't forget, we'll be on the air again tomorrow night for a matchup between CHBR and the Haddonfield Rough Riders in the Tri-County quarterfinals over at Belmar Rec Center, 6 p.m. first pitch tomorrow night. So it'll be fun, and then we'll have a potential Game 3. I doubt that all 4 series will be sweeps. I mean, I think this series will be really good. Again, Vineland, the only thing that they're doing in this series right now is proving why being a 10 seed was the wrong idea. Because, again, I say wrong idea, but it's not the fault of the league's structure. Because in a season that had this much rain impact so many games, and Vineland's field, in the words of everybody that I've spoken with at Vineland, does not hold up well in the rain. That's a base hit, back up the middle in center field. This time, that was the first time that Ruga's outside fastball ended up being a mistake. He kind of rolled it over, but he set back that swing long enough to where he was able to get a line drive back up the middle, and Warburton picked up a base hit. Back-to-back knocks for the Senators. And now Robert Carfagno will bat, who doubled in his first time, but with the bases loaded, now he's got a chance to add some RBIs to his plate as well.
And although his average is a little bit lower than he probably wants it to be right now, he has an absurd amount of power. As we saw that 3-2 double we saw in the second inning from Carfagno. He basically one-hopped the wall there, I believe, Dan. So, definitely someone to look out here for, as he could definitely put one near the fence, if not over. And
yeah, there's a little bit of a higher fence in left field, running from the left field foul pole to just about where that left fielder is standing for Vineland. Fastball at the letters, misses high. But yeah, I mean, Vineland, a lot of their home games were impacted by rain because the field doesn't hold up great. And not to mention the fact that Vineland, far and away, is probably the most isolated team in the Tri-County Conference. We look at these 8 teams in the playoffs. Cherry Hill, Haddonfield, Cherry Hill and Pittman, Cinnaminson, Runnymede, Camden, and Washington Township. They're all within maybe a 25, 30-minute range, but Vineland's out in the middle of nowhere. And it's been both a blessing and a curse, because it's been a curse in the way that their field doesn't hold up well, and when there's a threat of rain, teams might not bring all of their guys, or teams might bail out on a game because they don't want to travel there. But it's been a blessing because they have much more wider of a scope that they can search from. We saw Gavin McCaffrey. He's a Kingsway guy. Unless you're playing for the old and true Cherry Hill Pittman, that's probably the closest team that you can get. The Peacock brothers, both St. Augustine guys. Kyle Lizer out of Timber Creek in Sicklerville. It's probably one of the closest teams that they can find a roster spot on. It's a swing and a miss by Carfagno. It's the second strikeout of the inning for Ruga, who picks up his 5th strikeout of the night. And I mean, honestly, given his record, it's been a bit of a two-sided coin here. He's got 5 strikeouts, but he has 4 walks, and the second of 2 runs that the Senators have scored in this one, the second was on a bases-loaded walk. So it's been very polarizing for Ruga's performance tonight. Popped up, first pitch by Smith. Check that, Gonzalez is foul. That will land on Tom Brown Field. Again, we'll open our football coverage on Thursday, August 28th, 1 month from today, with a matchup between Cumberland and Clearview, and then we've got a doubleheader on Friday, August 29th. A matchup between Collingswood and Clayton at 11 a.m. in Collingswood. A rematch from last year, and then we go down to Atlantic County, the Absegami Braves versus the Egg Harbor Township Eagles, 7 p.m. on Friday. And then we close it out Saturday, August 30th, matchup between Gloucester County and Salem County. We travel down 295 to Penns Grove to see the Red Devils versus the Paulsboro Red Raiders. 2 on, 2 out once again for Township. That one's fouled back. It'll be 2-strike count against Gonzalez. I guess at least the good thing with having your field right next to the football field is that there's a lot of people practicing on it right now. There's a soccer camp out there. There's some folks kicking around things. There's enough people out there to where if you find a foul ball, it can find its way back home a little quicker. 2-strike pitch in the dirt. And another benefit, if it lands on the turf, there's not going to be any scuffs on the baseball like it would if it hit a thud in the natural grass. Wouldn't be any mud on it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gonzalez struck out his first time, got a chance to bring home a run this time. 2 on, 2 out. Ruga looks back, and the pitch went low for it, and he golfs it out to second base. Throw to first is in time, and the inning is over. Vineland escapes the jam. An error and a single by Dylan Warburton have been the offensive output for the Senators, but Ruga gets 2 strikeouts and a weak ground ball to counter it. We're through 3. It's 2-0 Washington Township.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Top of the 4th inning here in Vineland, or rather, no, it's in Washington Township, excuse me, that's a little bit further down the road. It's time for DWE Trivia Time. Today's question is, well, it's the same one from Wednesday, so if you watched Wednesday's broadcast, you're not going to be in for a surprise. Who is the only cover athlete in the history of the MLB The Show video game to appear in back-to-back years? The options are A, Andrew McCutcheon, B, Aaron Judge, C, Fernando Tatis Jr., or D, Joe Mauer. The answer will be revealed in the bottom of the 4th inning. We've got an 0-2 count to start the 4th.
I'll have to think about that one.
Well, I'll tell you this. There's a ground ball. High chop the 3rd. Good play off the ground that time. Raccabaldo gets it. It's one away. Nice play that time. I'll tell you this. With Jake was our producer on Wednesday. It took him a little bit of a while to figure it out as well. So certainly not an obvious answer, but in the top of the 4th inning, Lizer grounds out to 3rd, and we've got Josh Herner here with one away in the top of the 4th. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at DAWG Pro Wrestling, the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment throughout the Garden State. For more information on their future events and ticketing, you can visit dawgprowrestling.com. Also, if you're a club, civic organization, charity, school, or other organization that wants a little flair, wants something unique to their next big event, book DAWG Professional Wrestling for your next outing. bring high-flying entertainment and nonstop competitiveness with the lights and action that everyone will be waiting for in a professional wrestling environment to your backyard or any other event that you have, dawgprowrestling.com. That ball's hit well. Left field, going back towards the corner. It's off the bottom of the wall. That ball got laced to left. It got smoked like a Kansas City barbecue, and that will be a double for Josh Herner. That is what Vineland needed there. They didn't need a base hit. They didn't need a double. They needed something with a little spark to it. Vineland's dugout got up. They thought that had a chance to get out. Now everybody's awake. Everybody's looking, okay, this is what we have. This is what we could have. Herner is now 2 for 2 and now sets up nicely for Jack Peacock with a chance to put the Gartons on the board.
And I was talking about it earlier with Herner. He's been one of their most solid hitters all year, hitting above 300, and that's only going to help that go up.
It's only going to improve, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Jack Peacock, popped out to third and foul ground his first time. Strike called. One of the things I've noticed about Washington Township, there is always something going on here when we're doing a baseball game. There's a little soccer and field hockey camp going on behind us on the Tom Brown field, and I'm sure if these guys host a semifinal game at some point, there might be a football practice going on. I don't know when football practice can officially start in Jersey, but my point is that with a high school this big, I think I know somebody, a friend of mine who graduated from here last year in 2024. He said his graduating class was somewhere around 500 and was fouled back. But my graduating class was 124, and Audubon's total high school size is about 900 kids. The Performing Arts Center in right field, that's probably larger in size than the entirety of Audubon High School, for what it's worth. So, as a kid who went to a small school, I mean, Colin, you're in a bit of a Group 3 right now, so you're in a bit of a middle, but Highland's not massive.
No, I would say it's probably
closer to a Group 2.
Right.
I guess.
Right. Yeah, one of the smaller Group 3s for sure.
Because I think Delsey is also Group 3, and that's massive.
Correct.
So there's a little bit of a stipulation in that, but the two high schools that these two teams play at, both massive Group 4s. In fact, when we visit Vineland, when you go to Vineland High School to play at their field where the Gartons play, you're actually at Vineland High School South. The Vineland High School actually has 2 different campuses with 2 different buildings to accommodate their 2,800 students. It's the biggest high school in South Jersey. Biggest public high school. I think the last time I checked it was 2,799 students at Vineland High School. Throw back to second, that was close, but not in time. Was able to rebound, though.
Like you were saying, I know training camp's been going on for months for high school.
Yeah,
now,
training camp for football almost never stops because they're always in the weight room.
Right.
They're always getting stuff done. Baseball and basketball, they don't always do that. I think that for football, there isn't an equivalent to like AAU for basketball or travel ball for baseball.
Right.
So the athletes are always working, but for football, it's a lot more work in the weight room. Foul back. That one will land on the Tom Brown field. We'll have a 2-strike count. Still 0-2, though. He's fouled off a handful of pitches here, keeping the at-bat alive and making it more interesting for Evangelista going forward. 3-2 the count, excuse me. Line drive. Left center field. That gets down. Here comes Herner. He will get the stop sign at third. The throw is a little bit awry, but it's a base hit for Jack Peacock. Back-to-back knocks for the Gartons, and one away. And now the go-ahead run will bat in Rob Lagarina. So a very interesting situation right here for the RCSJ Cumberland product.
The Clearview product as well.
Yeah.
Part of that very, very solid 2024 Clearview team where they went all the way to the Group 3 semifinal before losing to, believe it was Shawnee.
Yeah, I think they lost to Shawnee in that. But, I mean, listen, this was for Nick Core's first year as a head coach. He's done so much. I mean, obviously, Somebody like Anthony Reagan was a great coach as well with the 2021 run that Clearview had, but Nick Core has really put Clearview back on the map in his first 2 years as a head coach there. That one's low. I mean, they had some great guys like Ian Markison, Braden Reeder, Tyler Dell. I was a little bit surprised they didn't go as far, but that's the thing about high school baseball is that you can't look back and say, oh, I didn't think they could go as far because, one thing and it's over. It's not like this where you can have guys playing for 7, 8 years, and it's not even like college where you have people who get transfers and they get, red shirts or medical stuff, and it's what you got 4 years and you're done.
Yeah, you're talking about AJ Palumbo earlier. I mean, he was sick at Clearview. I'll say that straight
Oh,
out.
absolutely. He was incredible there.
Unfortunately dealt with some personal things that kept him out of the lineup for a couple more games I'm sure he would have liked, but he was just very, very solid in his time there.
That one missed low. Two on and one away for Lagarina. Fastball misses outside. That's ball 3. Lagarina checking time. I thought it was to tie his shoe, but he had to attach a strap to his shin guard. Although it looks like it goes over his shoe. I've seen that a little bit, where it not only covers the bottom part of your shin, but it also goes over the front of your foot. It's ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Lagarina, and we're gonna have the bases loaded. So Herner to third, Peacock to second, and Lagarina to first, and now this feels very reminiscent of what we saw in the bottom of the second inning, except, well, roles are reversed. And the batter is none other than Logan Ruga, the pitcher. No better time to help your own cause. So we'll see what he's got. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, 1-0. Biggest thing here for Ruga, putting the bat on the ball. You don't want to keep the bat on your shoulders, and you don't want to waste an opportunity, because any strike called, any strikeout is going to go against you. And in this situation, as pitcher and catcher Gonzalez and Evangelista are talking it over, biggest thing is going to be just making sure that they don't make the same mistakes that Vineland did. Because sometimes you can lean a little bit into your competitors and see, okay, they made this mistake, even though that's not applying to us right now, we'll make sure to avoid it. Well, right now, that situation is applying to them. Bases loaded, 1 out, and a little bit of control issues here for Evangelista. First pitch, upstairs. 2-0, excuse me. Ruga reached on an E3 his first time at a nice play by Sedalis, but the first baseman dropped the ball. And a strike called, 2-1. Doesn't help that there's no scoreboard here. I usually keep the count in my head and then, look over to the scoreboard to confirm, but not having one here doesn't help. I mean, they have it, but it's just not turned on. 2-1, fouled back. Look out. Again, headed for the Acme parking lot. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ruga. McCaffrey will be on deck.
And we talked about earlier on with the no lights at Washington Township High School and, the daylight fading in the top of the 4th inning. This is a huge pitch.
That one's floated left field. It will stay fair. Left field line. Down into the corner. 1 run scores. Here comes a second, and the game is tied. 2-run single Logan Ruga. He helps his own cause, and it's a 2-run knock to left field. It barely stayed inside the fair chalk down the left field line. Especially in the tall grass like that, you could not have gotten any closer. 2-run single, it's 2-2. That was a good piece of hitting, even if he flailed a little bit that time. That was still a great piece of hitting.
And Ruga just helping himself out. I mean, that's as clutch as it gets in a 2-run playoff game.
And fouled back, 0-1.
Against the best team in the league, the Washington Township.
I mean, this is reminding me very much of the 2023 season, where Vineland was 17-1, only lost one game in the entire regular season, and then they lost in the quarterfinal round. Sometimes it's these lower seeds that can give, the top of the card that's sitting on their gold-plated throne. They can give them a run for their money. And obviously things will still have to be settled tomorrow night. Regardless of the score tonight, both teams will still have to make a trip down to Vineland High School tomorrow night. But here's a ground ball. This could be two. They will tag out the runner. It's an aggressive tag, and the throw to first is in time. Beautiful call at second base to make that play by Chris Smith. As the inning is over, it is a 4-3 double play, and Vineland, they're in a bit of a roller coaster. They had all the emotions from the two-run single by Logan Ruga, but that is now stripped away as 2 outs are recorded in a row. Double play ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 2-2, we're tied. Bottom of the fourth inning, Smith leads us off for Washington Township. It's time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question is, well, you had a little bit of time to think about it. Today's question is, who is the only cover athlete in the history of MLB The Show, the video game, to appear on the cover in back-to-back years? Your options are A, Andrew McCutchen, B, Aaron Judge, C, Fernando Tatis Jr., or D, Joe Mauer. Colin Morris, our producer and color commentator today, what's your guess?
My guess is Joe Mauer.
Well, you just guessed the same thing that Jake did on Wednesday, and in fact, you'd be correct. He appeared on the cover in 2010 and 2011 before Adrian Gonzalez of the Boston Red Sox appeared on the cover in 2012. McCutchen appeared on the cover in 2009, the year that he won MVP. And that one's a line drive off the glove into left field. It's a base hit. Gets past the third baseman, Herner. It stops dead in the tall grass. And it's a base hit by Smith to turn the lineup back over to Sedalis. So McCutchen appeared in 09. Or I'm sorry, not 09. That was his rookie year, actually. 2013 was when he appeared. Fernando Tatis Jr. was 2021. I believe the year after he had his 100-game PED suspension. And then Aaron Judge appeared in 2018. Yeah, it was 2018 that it was. So, yeah, Joe Mauer, it was kind of an odd decision because Joe Mauer was a great player. And obviously he's got to be a Hall of Famer, but it wasn't like he was, blowing the roof off of everything. He was a great player. He was probably top 5 in the league. But think about it today. Even after everything Shohei Ohtani has done for baseball, he's only appeared on the cover once, and that was 2022. So it's interesting how they've made those decisions over the years. Strike called to Sedalis. 2 Phillies have actually appeared on the cover. Ryan Howard appeared on the first ever MLB The Show cover in 2006. And then Bryce Harper appeared on the cover in 2019 when he signed with the Phillies. I actually remember it pretty well. It was an interesting phenomenon because they originally released promotional covers of MLB The Show 19 with Harper wearing a blank jersey because he was set to be the cover athlete, but he was a free agent. So they made a nice advertising campaign about basically not having a distinct cover set until he officially signed with the team, which very luckily ended up being the Philadelphia Phillies. Throw back to first, not in time. Runner on first after the base hit by Smith. The batter is Sedalis. Oh, wow, he backpicks. The runner goes. He's safe. How about that? Delayed reaction from Lizer, and Smith broke on the back pick, and he'll get into second base now as the go-ahead run. Very interesting play there, but it works out.
And you almost wonder if, you know, Smith being a catcher and all, that kind of instinctive thought process, you know, the mind of a catcher.
I wouldn't miss. Well, Smith playing shortstop today, definitely, you know, he's got a bit of an insight back there, trying to figure out everything, and he's a quick guy, so was able to figure it out. Oh, it's outside. Sedalis takes ball 4. The batter will be the number 2 spot for Washington Township, Dan Riesel. So Smith with a base hit. Riesel shows bunt. It's low. And then Sedalis, he walked. It's the second time he walked today. Riesel with a single and a walk. He's 1 for 1 so far. Riesel shows bunt. Oh, it's low. It hits the catcher in the mask. He doesn't see it. Runners advance as Kyle Lizer, he got a little bit dazed as the ball hit him in the mask, and then he looked in a couple of different directions before he found the ball. Consequence is every runner moves up 90 feet. Sedalis and Smith are both now in scoring position. So as quickly as Vineland tied the game, this could be back in the Senators' favor very quickly. That one misses away. So Chris Smith on third, Phil Sedalis on second. Riesel the batter, first base unoccupied. That one also misses low, and it's ball 4. Bases are loaded, and another pitching mound visit will come out for Vineland. Bottom of the 4th inning. Now, one thing to note, when we covered the Senators here for the last game of the regular season versus the Grizzlies, it was a quick game. It was 3-1, got done in an hour and 45 minutes. But we're in the bottom of the 4th inning, and there is not a guarantee that we get this done in 7. If the game is called due to darkness, as it has many times before in the regular season, then it would revert back to the last complete inning. Now that became an issue back in, I want to say in June, when we had a game between the Rough Riders and the Grizzlies that ended due to darkness after the Rough Riders scored 6 runs in the top of the 6th inning. They were up 9-6, but because they didn't complete the inning, the final score had to stay at 6-3 Grizzlies, and it caused a firestorm, if you will. But other than that, that's what we've got. Adamski the batter, bases loaded. Nobody out as Ruga continues to run himself into a jam. That one right around the collarbone, 1-0. Back-to-back walks. I mean, we're looking at the second inning all over again. We have a hit, and then we have 2 walks. It definitely could be an issue. Fouled back by Adamski. It's 1-1. Ruga has walked 6 batters today, in addition to his 5 strikeouts. But if he gets pulled here, it would be a no decision. Although that depends on if his pitcher succeeding him gives up any runs. 2 strikes called. It's 1-2 to Shane Adamski. A walk and a strikeout for him tonight. Fastball above near the Westchester crest on the helmet, and it's 2-2. That's the big thing for Washington Township here. Don't swing at anything that's not in the zone, and good things will happen if you put the ball in play. 2-2. Gets it in the zone that time, but Adamski's bat goes low. It's a swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Adamski, the 6th for Ruga. And now Raccabaldo will bat. And if you remember, he scored, or he somewhat drove in the first run of the game on a fielder's choice 3-6. And then an E6 on the shortstop scored the first run. 2-2 tie game, bottom of the 4th. Up and away. outside that time. So Raccabaldo, bases loaded, 2 out. Or no, excuse me, 1 out. Big chance here. Here's the pitch. Rolls over, and it's foul. Oh, that was close. There are no... Well, I should say that the foul lines don't seem to be drawn... The bases aren't... Like, if you look over in the left field line, we'll take a look right there. There's the left field foul line, and then there's the third base bag. The third base bag should be way over to the left. I don't think that's a township thing. I think that they built the field incorrectly, but because if you line up that, the foul pole isn't lined up with the bases on the left field side. I don't know how it took me that long to notice it, but that first base is, or that third base is maybe 2 to 3 feet further in. That's ball 4. Bases loaded, walk. It's 3-2 Washington Township. They take the lead. It's walk number 7, and this is going to be the second mound visit. However, he's going to have to take him out because it's a second mound visit in an inning. Man, what a polarizing start for Logan Ruga. 7 walks, 6 strikeouts. He gives up 3 runs. I think they're going to, at least I think that they got to take him out here. I mean, they're talking with Ruga here. I don't know if they're going to move him out into the field. We'll see what's going on here. He has some exchanging of gloves. And we'll have a new pitcher on the hill for Vineland in the bottom of the 4th inning as Logan Ruga looks like he's going to go out into the field, it looks like. So we're going to have an old high school swap here. Put somebody from the infield, put him on the hill, and we've got a 3-2 Washington Township game. A bases loaded walk gives the Senators the lead, and we'll be right back in just a moment. Jack Peacock, the new hitter or new pitcher for Vineland. Ball's hit out towards left field, straight away. It'll be playable. It stayed in the air a long time. Here comes the tag. Here comes the throw. It is, oh, it got blocked by Peacock and it hits off his glove. Here comes the second run to the plate. He is out at the plate. Wow. Riesel does not score, and that will be a double play to end the inning. They get 1 run, and a sacrifice fly to left does score 1. They score 2 in the inning. It's 4-2, but Township not happy with that call at home plate as Dan Riesel is called out to retire the side. We're through 4 here at Washington Township. It's 4-2. Here's the replay on that odd double play. Let's take a look. So the ball, he skipped it off of his glove. He wasn't backing up the catcher. So it went one to, I believe that's the first baseman who comes in. He throws it home. Here's the play at the plate. Ooh, that's hard to tell. I think his hand may have gotten in there. I'm not entirely sure. We'll take a look. We'll take a look one more time at it. But here's the throw again from, I believe that's the first baseman coming home. Gets it in there. Very close call with the fence in the way over there. But from what we can tell, looks like Washington Township could have had run number 3 in that inning, but they'll settle for 2. And the score is 4-2 as Township retakes the lead on an odd sacrifice fly that turned into a double play. That will be scored as a 7-1 or 7-1-3-2 double play. That'll be an 0-2 count to Anthony Charles, who popped out to short his last at-bat, and after the at-bat expressed some displeasure. Both teams seem to have a bone to pick tonight. Down and away 1-0, and like we said, these guys are human. They don't forget. And you know, I got a lot of respect for Tom behind the plate. We've worked together a lot with a lot of different games across a lot of different organizations. That one's low, 2-2. But I think this is what's drawing me more to like high school and college baseball, is that it is turning more and more into fundamental baseball. The more, oh, there's strike 3. Charles unhappy again. That'll be another strikeout. So here's Joey Peacock. He's 2 for 2, 2 singles. Swing and a miss. Good slider that time to lead off the at-bat for Evangelista, and it's 0-1. Darren Fisher, a Vineland High School product, will be on deck for the Gartons. Inside. You're watching coverage of the Tri-County Baseball League in the quarterfinal round on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, drop me a line at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. That one's in the dirt. It's a 6ABC helicopter going over the field. Popped up. Actually, out towards right center field. Got a little bit more than I thought. It was in on the hands. And Joey Peacock breaks his streak. He's now 2 for 3 with a fly out to center. Now Darren Fisher will be the batter. It looked like he got a little bit more of a launch angle on that, but still a fastball ran in, got it in on the hands, and just didn't get enough for it to get down with a fly ball to center field.
And a solid jump out to right center field by Carfagno to make that play on a line. Those are never easy.
No, especially with a ball sinking like that and not going in the way that you would expect. It's not your traditional hit. But he was able to make a nice play. Oh, how about that?
Look at that.
Oh, the old Uncle Charlie. And it's 0-1. Kodai Senga has thrown a couple of those for the Mets with all things considered. Again, he's changing things up. He started that last at-bat to Joey Peacock with a first pitch slider outside corner, and he chased it outside. This time he starts it with a slow ephus pitch that I don't know if it was intended to be that way. Look out. I don't know if it was intended to be that way, but most certainly it was an interesting conundrum nonetheless to have, you know, that kind of buzz on a pitch that he wanted to start the at-bat with. Got a 1-2 count to Fisher. He's 0 for 2, fly out to left and a pop out to third. That one's low, 2-2. Another helicopter flying over the field. It's 2 of them. Can't get a good angle on it, but the ground ball third base side. Picked up. Throw to first. Raccabaldo with a hard stretch, but it's in time to retire the side. It's a 1-2-3 for Evangelista. He has 5 innings under his belt here in Washington Township. It's 4-2.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities. Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Warburton leads us off in the bottom of the 5th inning. As Peacock, first pitch. Oh, I think he broke that bat. It's out to center field, or at least he splintered it. First pitch fly out for Warburton is out number 1. If you'd like to contribute to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting and make our broadcasts better by the day, we do have a Venmo at DW Broadcasting. As we cover the Tri-County Summer League throughout the remainder of the summer, all costs or all contributions go towards either equipment expenses, travel costs for games, or my college fund, because I'm a rising sophomore at Rowan College of South Jersey at Gloucester campus. And we have a great group of people, great group of folks that are trying to break through in the industry. I mean, my friend Colin here, who's doing a production today, he's a rising junior at Highland Regional. We've got folks in the high school ranks, we've got folks in the college ranks, people that have done professional work, all mentoring off of each other and making each other better by the day. So, all for the love of the game, of course, and all to advance our wonderful careers. It's a swing and a miss by Carfagno, who goes down without issue. It's the first strikeout for for Peacock, as there's very quickly 2 away in the bottom of the 5th, making up for some time lost with Julian Gonzalez. Now, right now, it's 7:33. The sun is still well over the horizon, and without any clouds today, we should be playing for a little longer. We had an issue when we had that controversial Rough Riders Grizzlies game in Runnymede in June. It was a very overcast day, and with that it had rained, so it was not only an overcast day, but it was a dark and cloudy day. So you had a lot less time to work with, as that'll be a ground ball by Gonzalez, out to third, ranging to his left, and the throw is in time. A lightning fast 5th inning for Jack Peacock as he gets a fly out, a very quick strikeout to Rob Carfagno, and an easy ground out for Julian Gonzalez. We are through 5 in Sewell. We may just get this one done after all, but they'll have 6 outs on both sides to recover. It's 4-2. Evangelista still working here for Washington Township. They lead it 4-2. They scored 2 runs in the first 2 frames. A fielder's choice in the first, a bases loaded walk in the second. First strike fouled back by Lizer. Count 1-1. Vineland in the top of the 6th inning will bat 5, 6, and 7. Lizer, Herner, and Jack Peacock, the new pitcher, formerly the second baseman for Garton's, here tonight. Again, tomorrow night we'll have more Tri-County action on the ledger with the CHBR Third Base Club and the Haddonfield Rough Riders at Belmar Rec. 6 p.m. first pitch on Tuesday night. Lizer, he drilled that one off his foot.
That one hurts.
Yeah. Well, there is a CVS 3 minutes away from here. He can pick up some Tylenol, but he'll be walking that one off. And I have been to the one on Egg Harbor Road. It is 24 hours, so let's just say he'll be feeling that one in the morning. 2-strike count to Lizer. He's 0 for 2, fly out to right, and a 5-3 ground out to his name today. But as we were saying before we got interrupted about the sunlight here, because there's not a single cloud in the sky, we don't really have to worry about dealing with a shortened. Well, that was outside. We don't really have to worry too much about things being too shortened here. Counts 2 and 2. Sunset should be around 8:05, so they'll have about 20 to 25 minutes. And there's a swing and a miss. Lizer goes down on strikes. Evangelista, shockingly low amount of strikeouts for the right-hander. After having 23 in the regular season, that's just his second of the night. And the first was to Anthony Charles in the top of the 5th inning. So it took him about 3 rotations of the order, or just over 2 rotations of the order, to get his first. And now he's got 2. Smith camps under this one at second base. It's caught. Herner Herner pops out to Smith, and there's 2 away. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Vincent's Lawn Care, providing South Jersey top-of-the-line lawn care since 2022. Call Vincent today for everything you need for landscaping, for weekly, bi-weekly, or anytime care. 609-413-0403. Again, that's 609-413-0403. That one's head out towards right center field. Going over and making the catch in right will be Adamski. The inning is over. I think they know what the time is because, well, if the sun does set on this ballpark and on this game, it will revert to the last full inning. So a quick top of the 6th follows a quick bottom of the 5th. We're playing speedy baseball here in Washington Township. 4-2, Senators. First pitch to Smith in the bottom of the 6th inning is up and in. Counts 1-0. Hit out towards right field, and it's caught. Hearing the marching band during the baseball game feels like feels like we're watching like a Latin American Winter League where they're playing the vuvuzelas in the stands during the at-bats, or kind of like a college football game where they're playing they're playing while the other team's on the field and they're playing their pep song and whatnot outside. And the 1-0 to Sedalis is up as well. 9-1-2, the batters for Washington Township in the bottom of the sixth as they look for some much-needed insurance because Vineland has kept them on the ropes. They scored 2 runs in the top of the 4th inning. Strike called. 2-1 here. And Vineland themselves will have 8, 9, and 1 in the 7th. Lagarina, Ruga, and McCaffrey. Fly ball, right field line. Was playable for a second, but it will go out towards the batting cages. 2 strikes against Sedalis now. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Little hesitation there with the leg kick.
Indeed, but still made contact with it. 2 walks for Sedalis today. He's 0 for 1. And a foul tip. He'll stay alive. Leiser's been getting roughed up behind the plate a little bit tonight. He got hit in his ankle with a foul ball, and now he gets hit again on the foul tip. Sedalis and then Riesel, who has a single and 2 walks. He's appeared on base all 3 times tonight for the Senators. 2-2. Outside on the fastball, 3-2. Base is empty, 1 away. Full count from Peacock to the leadoff man from Rowan, Sedalis. Upstairs, and that is the 3rd walk to Sedalis tonight. It is the 7th allowed by Garton's pitching. 6 by Ruga, and that is the 1st allowed by Jack Peacock in his inning and 2/3 of relief. So 1 away, and now Dan Riesel will be the batter, the left-hander. That one's low. Riesel was trying to make his case for a balk in the batter's box because he was saying that the pitcher stopped. See if he does it again. Runs from the stretch that time, and it's foul, 1-1. Riesel and then Adamski. Riesel singled to left. He then scored on that Raccabaldo fielder's choice. I mean, the question is, if you're John DiPietro, I think it's a long-forgotten thought now that he put the game rather officially under protest in the 1st inning. If the Senators win this game, and especially if they win it by more than 1 run, is that a case still worth fighting? I don't know, but it seemed like a rather, just in my personal opinion, a rather low-stakes play to have a fight over. There's a ground ball. Out to second. On a knee. Throw to first is in time. Riesel moves the runner over. And there's 2 away now as Riesel grounds out. It's the first time that he hasn't reached base today, but even in his 4th at-bat, or his 4th plate appearance rather, still a productive one. Moves the runner into scoring position in Sedalis, as now here's Adamski, excuse me. 2 strikeouts and a walk to his name tonight. He's 0 for 2. Looking to extend the Senators' lead in their last at-bats. That one's foul. Or no, wait a second. It's up the first base line. It's tagged. There was no signal by the home plate umpire or by anybody otherwise. It was a fair ball that got somebody napping, and the inning is over. A 3 unassisted ground out ends the frame, and it's the last chance for Vineland in the top of the 7th inning. It's 4-2 Senators right after this. Substitution was made on the hill. An impressive performance by Washington Township's Nicholas Evangelista. Eric Cartafalsa is the new pitcher for the Senators. Cartafalsa, the right-hander, who we've seen start earlier this year, comes in with a 4-0 record in 21 innings. 36 Ks, 7 walks, a 0.33 ERA, and a 0.125 on-base average against. A 0.76 whip as well. He's been very impressive, as after the Senators went down with anything but a walk in the bottom of the 6th inning, we've got 8-9-1, starting out with Clearview product Rob Lagarina. There's a foul ball out towards Tom Brown track, and that will land out of play. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. And then Ruga will be on deck. Despite being removed from the game as a pitcher, he gets to remain in the game as a hitter. And again, regardless of score tonight, both teams will travel down to Vineland High School for Game 2 of this 3-game set tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. There's a ground ball out to short. Backhanded, glove side by Sedalis, and a big collision at first. He hangs onto it. Vineland is going to try to argue obstruction because Raccabaldo had to get out of the way. There's 1 out. He's making a turn here to try to, thought he was going to try to make his case. It looks like he's going to give it up, but that was a hard collision with Raccabaldo. Kind of stopped him in his tracks. I mean, I don't know if it was, yeah, Raccabaldo, I was wondering why they were taking a little bit of time. It looks like Raccabaldo got a little bit shaken up at first because, I mean, it's kind of like an immovable object running into an unstoppable force. That was how that collision was. And again, collisions are not something that are a big part of baseball. In football, sure, but you have helmets and pads and you've got all the technology in the world you need to protect against it. In baseball, you don't have that. So a lot of times when it's just human body on human body, a lot of times somebody can get hurt. Ball misses low to Ruga after the appeal to first says no. Didn't think he did. So the Senators, the number 1 seed with only 1 loss in the regular season, a record of 15-1-2. Could go into the Game 2 up 1. Although I will say, I think that even though Vineland is the 10 seed, I think this is a series that has the legs to go 3. We've seen Vineland's potential. We've seen how they've been able to manage themselves today and how they briefly had this game tied in the top of the 4th inning. So, excuse me, it's entirely possible that Vineland could go into tomorrow night on a bit of a cooler evening, find their footing in Game 2, and send this series back to Washington Township for a do-or-die in the quarterfinals. Here's the pitch to Ruga. Strike called.
And this could be an unpopular opinion, Dan, but in this scenario, I would rather give up a solo home run here than a walk.
Yeah, a bit of a Cardinal sin for the closer, but we'll see what he's got. Got a 3-1 count. Foul ball, left field line, and it's 3-2 full count. But I mean, Ruga batting out of the 9 spot, you'd rather get an out than give up a solo home run, but I get what you're saying. You want him to use up the stuff and then have Washington Township have a little bit better leeway going into that top of the order, but we'll see what he's got. 3-2 the count. Fouled back again. After Ruga, McCaffrey will be the batter. And again, the other 3 series going on throughout the league, we don't have scores on them yet. The Grizzlies and Grizzlies and the Reds, the Crew and the Bad Guys of Cherry Hill, and then CHBR and the Rough Riders. Fouled back again. Props to Ruga here, even with Eric Carter-Falsa, who is not normally a relief pitcher. I mean, this is his 6th appearance of the year. He's thrown 21 innings. We saw him start the last game of the regular season versus the South Jersey Grizzlies back in late July or mid-July. Now he's coming on as a closer in the 7th inning. Here's the 3-2. Strike 3 called outside corner. Ruga goes down on strikes. It's a strikeout looking on a looping breaking ball, and now McCaffrey will be the batter as the last stand for Vineland here in game one. So we'll see what he's got. But again, the batter, McCaffrey, 0 for 3, including grounding into a double play in the 5th inning. That one's low, 1-0. So again, no matter what happens, everybody will play tonight and tomorrow in the inverse location of where they played tonight. Swing and a miss, 1-1. You can feel that little desperation swing from McCaffrey there. That was an aggressive swing, trying to put everything into the ball all at once. You know, trying to kind of as a last act with 2 outs and nobody on in a 2-run game. Carter Falsa, ground ball. Out towards second. It'll be a tough play, ranging to his left, and a wonderful play by Chris Smith to end it. That's the ball game. 4-2 the final as the quarterfinals kick off with a controversial game at points. Both managers and players from both sides seem to have an issue with the officiating at one point or another, but it ends peacefully with a 4-2 final as the Senators go up 1-0 in the series. After receiving a first-round playoff bye, they looked a little bit shaky to start, but consistency prevailed in the end as they scored 2 runs right at the end of it, and they win this thing 4-2. So that will be all. We're going to try to get a interview real quick from the Washington Township starting pitcher, Nicholas Evangelista, but that is the final here tonight. We'll be right back, and we will get our post-game interview, and we will say our goodbyes here on this Monday evening. We'll be right back. We've got our post-game interview here for the Tri-County Baseball League. The final score, Vineland 2, Washington Township 4. It's Nicholas Evangelista, our player of the game. Just 2 strikeouts over 6 innings, but still, you were the driving force into having Washington Township lead today. It was a bit of a tough game, but overall you guys came out ahead. How'd you feel out there today?
Felt all right. It's a whole different ball game playing Tri-County. I mean, you're going from college, pro ball, and you're working all day. And, I mean, just getting out here is fun. I was pretty exhausted today. I was in an attic. It's 130 degrees up there today, so it's a little tired. But, I mean, our defense was amazing. I mean, you saw it in the broadcast. Chris Smith, 2 double plays.
Oh, yeah.
That crazy double play, the guy took his glove off. You got Dan diving out there. Chris even sealed the game. I mean, it was just a defensive effort.
Chris Smith had a good one as well.
Yeah.
But I think, it was kind of a cohesive piece tonight for everybody because Vineland is one of those teams that they probably shouldn't have been the 10 seed, but because they played the fewest amount of regular season games because their field just didn't hold up because of the rain. It didn't help their cause, but they're showing that they're a tough team, and you guys got to go back there tomorrow night for another game on their field a little bit further away.
Yeah.
So it'll be tough going into tomorrow, but you got your work out of the way. 6 innings, and the interesting thing is that you had, I believe, 31, 32 strikeouts in the regular season, and you only had 2 tonight. Obviously, it doesn't change too much in the end because you got the win, but were you doing anything different out there trying to pitch to contact more, or was it just how that was falling?
I think I'm just pretty much a contact pitcher, kind of always been. I mean, like I said, defense, trust them. Less pitches, the more you can pitch farther in games, so I always try that. Strikeouts, you go for them, 0-2, 1-2, and then that's pretty much it. So I kind of felt behind a little bit in the count early and kind of figured it out when I got the 2 strikeouts later in the game.
Yeah, and then the 5th, 6th, and 7th went so quick. I was worried about us not being able to get this game in, with the sunlight because we've had that issue here before. But we were able to get it done, and now you guys are 1-0 in the series.
Yep.
As the one seed, there's always so much pressure going into the playoffs. You want to avoid getting hit by a Cinderella, and it's in the middle of its progress. And you guys were able to stop Vineland today, but it was still a close game.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel going into tomorrow, and how confident do you feel in your team?
I was telling Tri-County earlier, we have, I think, the best pitching staff and defense I've seen in Tri-County in my years in the league. So we have Joey Rufino going, Gloucester kid.
Of course, 2 no-hitters this year.
Just committed to FDU too.
Oh, really?
Congrats to him, yeah.
The Division 3.
No, Division 1.
Oh, Division 1.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of FDU Florham, yeah.
Coach actually saw him against the no-hitter. We brought him in because I went there as my alum. But, yeah, we got him tomorrow, and he's just going to pound the zone. He throws nothing but strikes. Really good pitcher, and we have 6 guys in the bullpen who are pretty much great pitchers. So.
And that Vineland mound is pretty high too.
It's
so
awesome.
So knowing Joey, because I also go to RCSJ, so knowing him, he's gonna excel tomorrow pretty good as well.
Yeah.
But with this being a rematch of the 2022 finals, it's nothing but excitement, and you guys pulled out on top today.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Nicholas Evangelista. We're going to close out with you signing the bottom of the scorecard. We do this little tradition on DWB.
Where do you want it?
Just anywhere, nice and big on the bottom,
Oh,
as he wins our Player of the Game honors presented by DAWG Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier professional wrestling organization. Evangelista, thank you very much. Have a safe drive home, and we'll hopefully see you in the next round.
Yep, roll sends.
Roll sends for him, indeed. All right, that will be all for us tonight as, again, Evangelista picks up the Player of the Game. 6 innings of work, giving up 2 runs, 1 earned, or rather both of them earned, but just 2 strikeouts on the night. It was a topsy-turvy game. Logan Ruga, the starter for Vineland, struck out 5 but walked 6, and 2 runs for the Washington Township Senators were bases-loaded walks. So it was a bit of an oddball game, but at the end of the day, it's Washington who comes up with the win, and they will travel to Vineland tomorrow night for Game 2. Our Game 2 is set for tomorrow. You can already click on the link and share it on YouTube for Tuesday. It's CHBR third base at the Haddonfield Rough Riders. They'll be playing 6 p.m. first pitch from the Belmar Rec Center, just up the road from the Black Horse Pike. From our entire crew at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan, Carson Rosso, my producer and color commentator of the evening, Colin Morris, coming out on short notice. I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you same time tomorrow, but in a different place, in a different county at the Belmar Rec Center. Washington Township wins this one 4-2. Have a good one, folks.